Hey everybody, James the D Guy from More Motorsports Garage with another tech tip of the day for you. Today I'm going to show you how to make a nozzle sprayer for your intercooling system on your turbocharged vehicle. You can also use this method to cool down things such as the intake manifold, the radiator, cold air intake piping. I mean, it can go on for various things. You could use it to squirt people if you wanted. I mean, it's all up to you. The way I designed this should help people, and it's so inexpensive that it might even be free for most of you. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So today, I'm going to show you what I mean by it could be free. As you see, this is a washer fluid reservoir. Most factory vehicles come with it. If yours didn't, someone removed it. You can keep that. If you haven't removed it, keep it. It could come in handy. If you have removed it, you can find one for pennies on the dollar at a salvage yard. Pick one of them up with a good motor that works. Wire the positive all the way into the car. What you want to do is ground it just to anywhere on the chassis. I grounded mine right here, straight to the metal. And then on the outside, you will remove your nozzle, which I have already done, running the wires and everything down to the bumper. Right here are my nozzles. As you can see, they're right here, facing the intercooler for cooling effectiveness. The spray pattern depends on the nozzle. If you can find a wider spray pattern, it'll cover more of the intercooling system, which would help even better. You can also use this on the radiator too. The radiator, you will spray the nozzles. Let me put this light down. You will spray it, and the nozzles will spray to the inside of the radiator. Most people think, well, spraying cold water on metal isn't very smart. This is aluminum. You've got to remember it disperses heat. I have had yet none of these to crack, nor the intercooler or radiator. My intercooler sees temperatures of around 110 at peak, sitting still with the vehicle off after a very hot day and a run. As soon as I start it up, no higher than 100 degrees. Under full throttle, the highest I've ever had was 98, 99 degrees. Spraying the intercooler dropped it about 10 degrees. 10 to 15 degrees, depending on how cool the water was. My water was a chilled 38 degrees. I measured it with a thermometer. I poured it in, went on, had a huge run, made it about 98 degrees and sprayed the intercooler, held the button down for, I'd have to say, probably a good 15, 20 seconds while cruising at 55 miles an hour. Cooled it down to 88 degrees. That's a huge drop for the intercooler, which on a dyno could mean big numbers in horsepower. If you were to use it during a run at, say, the drag strip, as soon as you launch, you hold the button down. You keep that button held, slam every single gear, get done, keep it held, coast, cruise, let it drop them temperatures. It'll also help with pre-detonation and other things so you could actually advance timing further. But this would only be effective if you use it all the time. This is a very cheap method to getting big horsepower for little pennies on the dollar. This whole setup would probably cost you, if you were to buy all the stuff and you had none of it, it might cost you 20 bucks at a salvage yard. You could probably go to a salvage yard, give them 20 bucks, say, hey, I'm going to go pull the washer stuff. They'll just think you're getting washer stuff. They're not going to think you're going to make race car parts out of it. Long story short, it does help. You could also use it on the intake pipe. Have a nozzle jet sprayed here and here for naturally aspirated vehicles, and hold the button down with ice cold water, cooling your entire system down, causing a few horsepower gain. You could also spray it directly towards the intake manifold, avoiding all electrical connectors. Spraying this down will cool it down drastically. You will see probably, 10 to 15 degree drops on that also, if you have a ventilation airflow going across the system. This all has been routed into the vehicle electronically through a toggle switch, which most of you understand what the toggle switch is. You just hook one part of the positive to it, the other part goes to the switch. Positive to there, the other part goes to the mechanism you're trying to turn on. Mine are hooked through these push buttons right here. I'm sure you can hear it. See, I actually ran mine through these. You can put a push button down here, anywhere that you can reach. And I have mine here so I can hold it with the left hand, shift with the right. So hold with the left, shift with the right, and I can keep it constant. It does help in performance. I have noticed a huge difference in temperature. I had my computer sitting on the passenger seat with all the data log readings going, so I have proof to back it up. I will get that in a later video. How I hooked mine up was, do you see the cord that's all squiggly wired? That is an old Nokia phone charger from back in the 90s or whatever, whenever they had those Nokias, the old ones. I just cut both ends off, ran negative, positive, which there is no negative, positive to a toggle switch, but that's how I have it ran in there. So when I turn the steering wheel, you can see it will not get tangled. It'll just stretch, which is very, very good for this steering wheel. And it's very cheap. You can probably find them. You just go through your cupboard or go through a drawer and find one somewhere. They're very inexpensive. You just go buy a cheap charger and cut it both ends. Either way, it works. Do not use wire. It'll tangle, rip, and tear out. I have had it, and it blew fuses. You live and you learn. But that is my tech tip for today. Hope it helped one of you guys out. You can spray the motor down, spray the intercooler, radiator, intake pipe, whatever you desire. And the chiller the water, the bigger the results. Just be careful not to spray things such as the cast iron manifold, the turbo. Stay away from things that can crack, because aluminum doesn't crack as easy. I've just found this out. It's not... I'm sure aluminum heads crack easy, but I have not had any aluminum piping, intercooler, radiator, any of those sort crack from my experiments. And this has worked and is a proven result. This is James D. Guy with another tech tip of the day for you guys. Hope it's helped someone out. Go to More Motorsports like page, like it up. My name's James D. Guy Sanchez. You go on there, you send me a message either through my Facebook or the More Motorsports Facebook, which I'd prefer to keep business separate from personal. And yeah, I can get back to you if you have any ideas or tips or tricks. You send them to me, explain how you did it, and I'll mention you in my next video if I use your idea. If I don't use your idea, then I will just, put it in the idea box and use it for later. If it's not that good of a tip, I just won't use it at all. But yeah, I'm going to be in a magazine called Tuner Slang. It's new, coming out. I'll be in the first issue. I'll have a page or two about, my Honda and how I became where I'm at. My YouTube will be linked on, you'll see on there that they have a website, Tuner Slang Magazine. I'm not sure exactly the website's name, but it's a Tuner Slang Magazine. Google it. Yeah, they're just fresh starting up. You guys can watch these videos. I have multiple tech tips, that's a tongue twister, tech tips on their website that you can watch, and this one will be on there. So hope it's helped someone out. If you guys have any other ideas, let me know. Thanks for watching.